Malevich movie is a brilliant entwinement, distinct parallel of the war today in Ukraine. Russian imperialism or their so-called supremacy is propaganda. We as Ukrainians should be the messengers. I think that this Malevich movie is a brilliant platinia. I don't know what the entwinement. I don't even know that word exists, but it's a beautiful meshing of the concept of an artist trying to be an artist, possibly even Ukrainian artist, uh, and showing the strife and trouble in trying to accomplish artistry uh, in the circumstances that he has, as well at the same time you have the parallel, distinct parallel of the war today in Ukraine. So it's, I'd say, 100 years later, more or less, but somehow the producers of the movie, and the only one that I know here is Anna Palenchuk, uh, was brilliant in creating this kind of intertwining of the two thoughts. You've got the war today uh, of Ukraine, and then you have Ukrainian culture trying to be flourishing 100 years ago. So you have the continuation of the strife, the that artists of, conceivably in this particular case, of Ukrainian background, that are trying to create a future, to produce art, to go beyond the boundaries of that exist, and that's distinctly presented in the movie. We have this cultural appropriation. We have the myth of Soviet or Russian imperialism or their so-called supremacy, where indeed most of their most of their material is propaganda, and also sometimes propaganda at least is promoting something that's true. In this case, it's not true. So I think it's very important that the cultural world that does understand or has a relationship with art see this movie so that they can understand to what extent uh, the so-called Russian imperial message is not true and not correct. Now, I'm focusing on the people of arts and culture, but I think the movie is great for everybody that wants to sort of know the truth about history or development of art or anything about Ukrainian heritage and culture. I thought Professor Ilitsky's comment about the vacuousness of the Russian imperial messaging over years, to the point that now we've heard commentaries of people that if you subtract the Ukrainian aspect or Ukrainian uh, quote unquote either appropriation or inclusion of culture in and subtract it from the Russian culture, not much is left. I heard that before, but I have never heard something presented like which what Professor Ilitsky said, that that there that there is no real messaging for the Russian people themselves, that they don't know their own, they're lacking in understanding their own lack of culture or their own lack of a heritage. That's the difficult question, but it's everywhere. It's whoever you touch in your life. We as Ukrainians should be the messengers of that concept wherever we are. And I think a lot of Ukrainians do understand that. And I mean, that's the life that Ukrainians have been living in Canada for over 130 years, where we came upon nothing and helped build our community, but also help build Canada. And now, conceivably, Canada understands the Ukrainian culture of things and is on the right side in terms of the determination of this war that Russia has imposed on us.